Hello. Happy Saturday, everyone. How are you? I hope everybody is doing well. I'm glad to see everybody here. Thank you so much for joining Allie and I'm going to bring Allie up in just a second. I just wanted to remind everybody if you were interested in watching the documentary I did about Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen and all of that, I have uploaded it to Patreon I'll drop the Patreon membership link or whatever in just a second, but it's there. It's a long one. It's like 46 minutes. So get comfortable. And it's definitely not a bedtime books with Bendy vibe at all. Like there's music to it and everything. So um, I hope you guys will go and check it out. And I hope you enjoy it. It took me forever too long to make, actually. All right, let me bring Allie up and say hello to my friend Allie. Hi, Allie. How are you? Well, I can see Allie, and we have another situation where I can see Allie, and I'm sure she can hear me, but I can't hear her. So, Allie, if you can hear me, I cannot hear you, babe. And Lisa, thank you so much for gifting a membership to the channel. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for your support. And if you're the one that got the membership, please be sure to thank Lisa. That was so sweet of you. Let me say hi to everybody while we wait for Allie to come back. Hey, Teresa. Hey, TK. Hey, Gretchen. Hey, preschool granny. Hey, cement shoes. Good to see you. Hey, Carol. Good to see you. Lisa, neat noodle, Grace. Megan. Hi. Hey, Brandy. Let's see. I don't want to miss it. Hey, Music City Mom. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, babe. Call me Sadie. Hello. It's good to see everybody. Teacup cracking. Hey. Yeah, all of a sudden, it's gotten cold. Like this morning, it was nice. And then when it was time to go to the party, I went outside and it was, I don't know, the wind was kicking up. It was very blustery. I did not enjoy it. No me gusta. All right, so this is the plan. As you can see, the video is 5 hours and 46 minutes and 5 seconds. We will not be here for 5 hours, 46 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm probably going to do maybe an hour, 2 hours. Oh, okay, Allie, yes. I think you know what I think it is? I just realized this because we had this issue when I was on your panel. Um, I downloaded that audio booster extension and it's always on. So that is probably why it's an issue and why we need earbuds. So where was I going to? Oh, I am back in Texas, Music City Mom. Back in Texas. I moved back at the beginning of December. I'm with my daughter and my granddaughter, Livy Chicky Nuggy Pup Pie Esquire. And today was her birthday party. And so we went and I had a blast with her. She was adorable. So cute. We had so much fun. Oh, are there, Gretchen? Gretchen says there's a lot of breaks. I watched a little bit and then I had to get ready to go. So, yeah. Um, hey, Cat's Eye. Where's Sarah Bellum? I missed her coming in. How did I? Here she is. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you, babe. It's good to see all of you guys. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Sophia's LOL. Oh, Lolly. That's Sophia's Lolly. I just learned how to read. Um, oh, really? Neat says where'd she go? If we fast forward through the 11 billion breaks, we can probably get it all in. Perfect. All right, because the birthday present I got for Livy was very well received, and she is super excited to do it tomorrow. I got her, she's very into Bluey, and very into lights. So I got her this Bluey light that they can paint themselves. So I promised her I would do that with her tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started while Allie's looking for her earbuds and see where we're at today. All right, here we go. I always enjoy it when somebody walks like directly in front of the camera and it's just blur. And he did the initial interview with Megan Boswell on February 18th, 2020. I see Megan has still not located a brush and has chosen a forest green blazer as her outfit of the day. I don't mind Bluey. I'll tell you what. There are a lot of kids shows that, I could take them or leave them, right? But Bluey is pretty good. Now, let me just say this. Hold on. Let me push mute real quick so I don't be talking over people because that's very rude. I don't like Caillou. I'm not going to like Caillou. I didn't like Caillou when my kids were little. I don't like Caillou now that I have grandchildren. It's just not in the cards for me. Okay. The friendship door between me and Caillou is completely closed. All right. That's all I'll say about that. All right. Let's get going.
Today when we left, I gave you certain admonitions. Does any juror have anything?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Scoot up.
There's
closer.
Allie.
Speak up loud.
Okay.
Thank you. There you go.
Can you hear me, Allie?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? It's
Hey,
moving. Yes.
yes.
Okay. Oh
Oh,
my
this is what
gosh.
I like about you, Allie. You enjoy the little things, which I appreciate. I believe that's rule like 39 or 40 from Zombieland. Enjoy the little things, and that's important.
Well, the first time my little bubble wasn't moving, but I wasn't muted. I was talking. And then I came and I'm like, I'm going to go sit in it's cold outside, but Amy's asleep. So I was like, I don't want to
Oh,
sit. So I got my car and started it and moved it. I had to first, it wouldn't pick up the internet. Then I had to move down the driveway and now I'm here and it
woo!
works.
We did it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you. Whew. Are you ready?
So I'm sorry, Jen. Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? All right. So the first witness is on the stand, and I've been told that if we skip through the 11 billion breaks, we can probably get through it all in one day. It's not there's just a lot of breaks. That's why it's 5 hours and 46 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, just like the last couple of days, it's been so many breaks. It's frustrating, but okay.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, and there's been a lot of sidebars. Makes you wonder if they got a charcuterie tray up there. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
You're Steve Williams, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you were previously employed with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. Is that right?
That's correct.
Anytime you
How
need,
long were
hold
you
on.
employed there?
Just under
Anytime you need me to pause, Allie, just yell out, okay, and I'll pause.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I'm just gonna sit here and listen. And yeah, the last time you mentioned that charcuterie, or however you say it,
Charcuterie.
I'll, yeah, you had me thinking about cheese and crackers and stuff for a while. I was like, yum.
I do love a charcuterie tray. I'm not going to lie. It's got meat, it's got cheese, it's got crackers. It's snacks. You can't go wrong with snacks ever.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
34 years.
So back in February of 2020, were you working at the Sheriff's Office?
That's correct, sir.
And what was your position or assignment there within the Sheriff's Office?
I was lieutenant over criminal investigations.
And during that time in February of 2020, did you assist in the investigation of a missing child by the name of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes, sir, I did.
And specifically, did you participate in interviewing the defendant?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, at the time at which you interviewed Miss Boswell, had other detectives already spoken with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you aware, did you know what she had already told them?
Yes.
All right. So what was the information or what did you know about Evelyn's disappearance and Miss Boswell's involvement before you went in to talk with her?
I just knew that she had told that her daughter was missing, that it come in through DCS that her daughter was missing, and we was trying to follow up on her daughter being missing.
Okay. Where did you talk with her?
At the sheriff's office in Criminal Investigations Division in the interview room.
Okay. And this interview room, does it have the ability to sit outside and listen to the interview as they're going on?
Yes.
All right. Did you listen to the interviews that were done by the other detectives?
Some of them and parts of them. I can't say I heard every one of them.
All right. And is this interview room located over at the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir.
And is that here in Blumpville and Sullivan County?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you went in to speak with her, let me ask you this, what was your approach in speaking with her? Did you take a different tack than the other detectives had taken, or?
Well, I just went in and was just being nice to her and trying to talk with her, I reckon you'd say civilly and not browbeat her or anything.
All right. And was your interview with her recorded?
Yes, sir.
And prior to coming to court here today, did you have a chance to watch that interview?
Yes.
And was it a true and accurate recording of that interview that you had with Megan Boswell?
Yes, sir.
All right. Judge, I'm going to move to introduce that as Exhibits 182.
No objection.
Oh my gosh,
this
I
time I
can't
would
believe
ask
I
to
did this.
play
Hold
that
on,
for
you
the jury.
guys. Okay, I had something else that I wanted to play for you guys before we started this. I'm so sorry for the abrupt way that all of my synapses came together and I remembered something that I had previously forgotten. But this I really want you guys to see. And here's why.
Yes.
Because now I'm not sure how I missed this, but apparently Megan Boswell's attorney, Mr. Greg Scott, has been giving interviews at the end of the day after the trial has ended. Okay. And a lot of you guys have been asking, who is Evelyn's father? Well, let me just show you something. Okay, hold on. I actually did it the
I
right way.
forgot you were doing this too. And I knew,
Well,
and I totally forgot. Cool.
Nitka Ditka. Hi, guys. I had to change my name and get away from eggs and Wade. Okie dokie, artichokey. Well, we're going to play this one pertaining to the question of paternity. And I will find the rest of these. And Allie, did you play any of these today, babe?
No, I didn't
Okay.
because I was going to, and then when you said you wanted to play this one, I figured, why don't you, if you wanted to, maybe you could play them both, or I don't know, just whatever you want. So no, I didn't.
Okay, babe. All right. So I'll find the rest of them and then we will play it. Okay. Because see, this is saying, maybe you guys don't know this, but when Allie and I are covering something that's the same and we're doing it together, but not always streaming together, we talk to each other. That's what friends do. So here we go. We consult. Allie gives me
Yes.
her opinions. I give Allie my opinions. She's a good egg, that
Yep.
Allie.
Back at you.
And she sends it. Oh my God. Tell them about the video you sent me today.
I was sitting there making, I think it was when I was making puppy chow. I was doing something in the kitchen, and Bentley was like laying not far from me watching his phone, and all of a sudden I heard it was Darman. He was watching like a Darman video, and I heard like something about this international pop star Jin Woo, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jin Woo!" And I was like, "What?" So I ran and got the phone, and I had to get a video out and record it and send it to Jen. I was like, wait, what did that say, Bentley? Did that say Jin Woo? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, stop that. Let me get my phone. Recorded it.
and sent it over to me. So just know that there's somebody on what show did Darman
Yeah.
who is going by. She's apparently an international pop star, yet she's still a bootleg version of Jen Lu because her name is Jen Wu. But it made Allie laugh, and she sent it to me.
He
It
kept
was
saying, "Oh
pretty
God,
funny.
not Darman." Well, see, I agree that it's very cheesy and all that, but there sometimes it will have good lessons for the kids, like about lying or bullying or whatever. What was that one about, Jen? I told you what it was, but I
Oh,
can't remember.
I don't know. Kids wanting to do something at after dark or something. Being bad in public.
Yeah, so yeah, something like that. So, but yeah, just it's something that teaches them little lessons. But when I heard Jen Wu, oh my gosh, I could not believe it.
I can't believe it either. That's crazy. All right, here we
Funny.
go. Let's listen to this.
Today marked the third day in Megan Boswell's murder trial. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Terry Craig. Today's session covered more witnesses in the death of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell, who was at the height of an Amber Alert in 2020 and was later found dead that year. The person accused being her mother, Megan Boswell. She's the only person facing charges in the death of Evelyn and has remained in the Sullivan County Jail since. Today, the court interviewed multiple witnesses once again. The court began this morning with more witnesses who knew Megan Boswell. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel has been in Blountville at the courthouse since the trial began, and she's there now live to give us an update. Ansley?
Yeah, Terry, court actually just wrapped up a few moments ago, but I'm standing here with Megan Boswell's attorney, Gene Scott. Thank you so much for joining us again today.
Oh, Gene, I keep
well, first
calling him
off, let's
Greg.
talk about the mistrial.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Mr. Scott, that I said your name wrong. Your name is Gene, not Greg. My bad.
Issue earlier, you made a motion for a mistrial. Do you think that there could be an issue with evidence that could come up again?
I think we sorted that out after we talked about the motion. My investigator and investigator for the DA's office went through the evidence in question. I think everything is sorted out at this point.
Now, earlier we heard from Ethan Perry. He took the stand today, who we now know is not Evelyn's father. Who is her dad?
I think that information is in the record and will come out, but I think I'd rather wait till it's said in open court.
And let's also talk about how everyone that testified today said Megan stopped bringing Evelyn around at one point and then she changed. What exactly happened there?
I suspect it's going to show that, in fact, she does stop bringing Evelyn around the time she passed away. And I think a lot of people expect you to react in a certain way when someone dies, and no one acts the same. There's not an appropriate way to grieve. People grieve in different ways. I think one of the most
Listen, Mr. Scott. Now, I'm not finna argue with this man. People do grieve in different ways. This is true. But what people don't do is lie for months on end and say that their child is with the father and the father gets a call and then they bring the entire army into the situation to investigate Ethan because Megan said that Evelyn was with him and make stories up for months on end. That's not appropriate grieving. Okay. So I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Allie, anything from you, babe?
No, except for I really can't wait for that to come out.
I know. And I wonder how it's going to come out and who's going to bring it out. Is it coming out from the state or is it going to come out from the defense?
Yeah, it's on the record. I don't know. It's really interesting. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I mean, I don't know. I guess it makes me wonder, like, what possibilities do you think of how they could have found out or what would be on the record and why would it come out? Because I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I can't figure out like how I've been trying to figure that out ever since I watched this video. Who is going to bring that out and how are they going to bring that out? And unless it's some scandalous secret, you know what I'm saying? Unless there's something scandalous around it, like I don't see how how this impacts the trial one way or another. I mean, obviously, us nosy Parkers want to know because, but
Yeah. Or would it be something from like, sorry, I was opening a pack of gummies. Would it be something from like, what if she was a product of something bad that happened to Megan in foster
right,
care and the defense is going to bring it out? Or, yeah,
right,
I don't know.
right. Except for, okay, maybe you missed this because remember we talked about potential. Megan came to foster care 7 months pregnant.
Oh, I knew she was in there pregnant, but I didn't know she came
Neither
pregnant.
did I. Neither did I. We could when her foster mother testified, and also I'd like to say excuse me on behalf of my husband who just burped in the background. I don't think he realizes that my mic is on because usually I'm just streaming the trial. So I apologize for that, you guys. I don't think that the only way that I could see that would have any impact on the trial would be like Ali said, if Evelyn was the product of an essay. I think
Hmm.
that if that were the case, it would the defense attorney defense would probably be the ones that brought it up, and they would probably say, that's why she kept it a secret, and that
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Amber says, so her dad kicked her out pregnant. I'm confused. Her dad didn't kick her out. She was missing so much school and he couldn't force her to go. And they made her go to a foster home because he wasn't forcing her to go to school and stuff like that.
Right, right. And Julie Noe says, so I heard gossip about it and I've searched records, but I can't find enough facts. So it's evidently going to come out in open court, but just who is going to bring it out in open court? Will it be the defense or will it be the prosecution?
Give us the gossip, Julie.
Yeah, tell us, what's the gossip? Let's listen to, while Julie tells us what the gossip is, we'll listen to the last little bit of what he has to say. And I got to say, I am sort of relieved to know that they've sorted out the rest of the evidence and that he's on record via the news saying that he doesn't think it will be an issue. Because that's going to close the door on a mistrial.
Yeah.
Later on down the road. And
that's true.
An appellate issue also. So good job.
Hey, Kathy. Yeah, for sure. Good job
Thanks.
with your news interview.
Thanks for that, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right, here we go.
Telling thing today was Miss Stacy said that Megan seemed numb. She initially said she was emotional, but then she later said she seemed numb.
And let's also talk about when you were cross-examining Randy Wood. That was another witness that came in today. You asked him if his son Hunter had mentioned that someone could read his mind or take his thoughts, and then you said something about tinfoil. Where were you going with that?
I was just exploring what his mental state was at the time that he was around Megan, and I'll bring that back around later in the trial.
Yeah, we know exactly how you're going to bring it back around later in the trial. You're going to try to connect some throat off dot that Megan, the reason Evelyn had foil wrapped around her head had something to do with Hunter, even though it's been testified to 11 billion times in the last 3 days that Hunter never met Evelyn. Stop playing with these people, bruh. Come up with a better reason. I know you have a crap case, but geez, Lou. At least make your creative lies sound plausible.
And I know that we are in day 3, and it appears that Megan is, conversing with you and active in this. Is that, kind of what your strategy is? Is she active with you in this defense?
She's taking an active role in her own defense. She's looking at evidence. She's making suggestions. So, yeah, she's very active.
And, we also know that day 1, she was pretty emotional, and things have kind of seemed to level out with the evidence there. But what are her emotions like right now?
I'm sure she's scared. I don't know how it would feel to have a child die and then to be blamed for it. So I can't say exactly what her emotions are.
And, I always, want to ask you, day 3, exactly, what do you want folks to know as we're, into today and after hearing the testimony that came out today?
I think what I want folks to know is this is a long process, and the evidence is just finally starting to come out after 5 years. And I think people's opinions will change of Megan.
All right. Is there anything else you want folks to know about your client?
No.
All right, Gene, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And, court is actually going to resume tomorrow. It's going to resume at 10:30 in the morning. We were told beforehand that this case was going to be about 3 weeks long and would go on Saturdays. Well, tomorrow we will pick back up with testimony in the morning. Terry?
Thank you, Ainsley. I appreciate that interview. Okay. He started to say something there at the end about his client, and he stopped short, which I always find interesting when someone whose job it is to be basically a wordsmith stops short. So I'm kind of curious. I wonder what he was about to say, and I'd like to know when our minds are going to change, because let me say this. The evidence that's been presented, because this was after yesterday's day in court, right? So yesterday, after all the evidence that came out yesterday, the state absolutely positively has her dead to rights on neglect for sure. Now I would
By
imagine
the
oh,
dirty house, you mean?
it's the
Hmm.
dirty house, and the thing is, and I was talking about this with my daughter earlier. Something that really stood out to me was the clothes that were in the shed, the items that were in the shed in general. And okay, if you leave like stuff, just out in a shed like that, I mean, mice can come in and everything like that. So you would expect some level of dirt. It wouldn't be like dirtiness. It wouldn't be immaculate. Okay. But what was particularly telling to me is the articles of clothing and where exactly the stains were located. And there was a lot of brownish red stains on odd items. For example, tissue paper, a binky. That is troubling to me. And the majority of the clothes that were stained where her diaper would be.
Oh yeah, I know. That was terrible. It was all so bad. And watching you, because like I don't think I was commenting at the time, but I was listening to you, and you were like, "This one really, it really makes me mad. Like to keep kids being dirty and like." And me too. I just don't understand it because there's no excuse that, whether you have money, don't have money, young, old, whatever. Come on, man. That was
Right.
disgusting.
That's
That's straight up neglect, like you said. And it is
right.
how sad to think that that's what like her life was like. I don't know when baby's little and you bathe them every night to get them cuddly for bed, and you put their
Yes.
lotion on and a warm, clean little snuggie or a blanket or whatever you're putting on them. And I don't know. It's
Yeah.
sad to think she didn't experience that.
And also, one of the things that struck me too was wasn't just her clothes. I believe there was like a swing or a jumper or something in there, and the seat was stained, you know, from a diaper, and they showed that too, and that just it's just I don't think I think that that's I don't something is not right here, and I do think that we're missing a piece of the puzzle that perhaps the state knows, but doesn't seem like they're going to um, bring it out. Because to me, I just if nothing other than Hunter changed, right? Like, okay, when we talk about like mothers who kill their children, Susan Smith, Diane Downs, they come to mind only because Susan Smith is one that we just she just was up for parole. There were no signs that she was about to do anything to her children. They did not go around being clean and well looked after and taken care of, and all of a sudden they started showing up dirty and unkempt and, you could smell them across the table. Like that wasn't what happened with them. And they haven't talked about any illicit substances being used or even prescription substances being used. So it just seems to me that it makes you wonder if the neglect was kind of constant, except for like when Megan would have to bring Evelyn around people. And then at some point, she just quit caring altogether. Just makes you wonder. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Otherwise, if I keep talking, we're never going to get through this for real. Oh, look at that pause game. He looks very angry. Oh, unpausing didn't help. He still looks mad.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Steve Williams. Hold on just a second, okay? I'm going.
I can't go nowhere.
They've been talking to you about your child, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And where was the last time you saw your child? I'm coming on and telling her.
Right after Christmas.
Where?
Ethan.
Okay. And you say Ethan, does that mean Ethan's in Louisiana or Ethan's?
In Bosell. Like I told him, I don't know if he took and dropped her off somewhere right after I dropped her to him, but I don't know what's going on.
Where did you give her to Ethan at?
Bosell. I was grandparents' house.
Okay. And what's his grandparents' name?
I know his grandma's name is Sherry, but I do not know his grandpa's name.
Okay. Have you ever been there?
Once or twice.
And you've met him?
I've met Carl.
And that's his grandfather?
Yes.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell you I didn't know his name, but as soon as you asked me, it spit right on my mouth.
that's no problem.
Am I asking any questions here or not?
No. We'll be done in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Why are you in a hurry?
I mean, like, no, but if they're going to keep questioning me and keeping me a line, like, I want an attorney.
Okay.
Because I'm not lied to them.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last time you saw your child was at Ethan's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you took your child to Ethan's grandparents' house, right?
Right, but I never walked in and we stood in the driveway.
Okay. And what was you driving?
I was driving my Cruise that I don't have anymore. It was a red 2018 Cruise. It's like a little Chevy sedan.
Yeah. Okay. And was Ethan staying there?
I mean, I guess he was, I don't know. He just had me come up there.
Did you see Ethan there?
Yes.
Okay. And did you see his grandfather there?
No. Me and Ethan stood outside and talked. Kind of like away from the house.
Okay.
Like the house was like over here where he parked his car was like towards the trees of the house. And we were standing like towards this side of his car.
Okay.
Okay, I just have to say, I noticed that exact same thing too, MK, that she's starting to grow an X on her head like Tisha Lynn.
I'm glad you paused because I was about to ask you to pause it. So her car from her dad, the little Chevy Cruze or whatever, was a 2018. That's a pretty new ass car, especially considering, think about this. This happened at the end of 2019. She was reported missing at the beginning of 2020. When I started driving, my car was at least 10 or 15 years old. Like my parents were not buying me a brand new car. Even now I drive a car that's older, but it just shows me like, yeah, even though she went to foster care, it is true that her dad was taking care of her. She just was not compliant and doing what she was supposed to do. And that, what can he can't force her to go to school and shit like that at that age. Like,
Exactly. If they skip, look, you can take your child to school. You can drop your child off. You could walk that child in at high school age. I'm not talking about elementary school. That's very different. You can walk a high school child into the door, okay? And
Yep.
they can and do either stay for a while and then dip or walk out the back.
Yep.
And it is, that does happen.
Yeah. And then the only last thing I wanted to say is MK said, like, right around the same time you did, my mic went out for some reason, like
Oh,
just a
no.
second ago. That's why I came back in. But he had said, I think she's on dope. And you said there's no indication of that. Like, her behavior, sure, it really is like very similar to what people act like in addiction.
Yes, it
The
is.
lies and the nastiness and all of that. But to me, I don't think that's her problem at all. I don't know whether it's addiction to boys, addiction to attention, or even maybe I'd love to ask Dr. B, because I'm really convinced she has some type of personality
Oh,
disorder.
she's got something wrong with her. Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because when I was cleaning the bathroom today, I was thinking about this. All my good ideas come in the bathroom, whether I'm cleaning the bathroom or taking a shower in the bathroom. Something about, maybe it's because of the water and me being Aquarius. I don't know. But anywho, that's really beside the point.
Yeah.
Side note, little sidebar there. The
Personality
the
disorder.
person, obviously you cannot be, something has to be wrong with you on some level for you to take the life of anybody else intentionally, right? Then you add on top of that a child, okay? Then you add that, the moldy cherry on top of that, which is your own child, okay? So like, there is something, but I would absolutely like to know what is real actually going on with her. Absolutely. I would like to know what the deal
Yeah.
is with her, but I do think that if substances were part of the equation, one side or the other would have brought it up. I do. I feel
Yeah.
like at some point it would have, like by now it would have come out.
Oh, 100%. We would have seen signs of it in the trailer or, whatever. Because think about with Leilani's case, how often it was coming up in every
Mhm.
aspect. Once you're starting to do that, it really takes over every aspect of your life. But
It
yeah, I
does.
just don't think that's it. But I wonder, like, you should talk to Dr. B, because she's been watching, I know. So I'm really
I should
curious
talk
what
to
she
her.
would think about her, like, behavior and what she takes away from her behavior.
Yeah, I'm totally going to ask her what she thinks. I mean, yeah. I'm going to ask her I'm going to ask her to come up here. Like, I'm going to ask her what she thinks, and then I'm going to ask her, "Hey, will you come up on the panel and tell everybody what you think?"
Yes.
In that
Yes.
order. That's exactly how I'm going to do it. Now, I
And
want
if
you
she won't,
Go
just
ahead.
tell
Go ahead.
me.
I will. Okay, I'll tell you. Now, I want you to know that I know that this is going to come up later, where she says, if y'all are going to keep questioning me all night and accusing me of being a liar and lying, I want an attorney. That is a very slippery slope. She doesn't stop if she would have said no, I don't want to talk to you after this, like when he asked her that, that's what allowed this to come in, because that's right there on the line. I'm going to want to talk to an attorney. That's not
Mm-hmm.
all the way asking for an attorney. It's sort of like the magic words when you get telemarketers who call, the magic words that you must say, and it has to be exactly this: "Please remove my name and my number from your call list." That's what you have to say. If you say it any other variation of that, no matter how close it is, no matter what you might mean by it, they won't take you off their list. You have to be specific. You can't say,
Yeah.
"Don't call me again." That's not good enough. You have to
Yeah.
say, "Remove my name and number." And and when he said, "Do you still want to talk to me?" She said, "Yeah."
Yep. Yep. I will want an attorney when it comes that, or I can't remember exactly, but yes.
Yes. Yeah. I will want to talk to an attorney, or I'm going to want to talk to an attorney. Not I want to talk to an attorney. So,
Yeah.
all right, here we go.
You dropped Evelyn?
Mm-hmm.
And
Put the car in his car and everything.
what kind of car was he driving?
A 2018 Nissan Versa. It's black.
Okay. And then that was Christmas Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after Christmas Day, do you communicate with him again?
He won't talk to me.
But
On New Year's Eve, and sort of on New Year's, I guess, me and him argue back and forth.
on text message or,
No,
or actually?
on the phone.
Okay, so actually talking to
Yes,
each
he would get mad and hang up, and then I'd call back, and he'd answer for a little bit, get mad and hang up, and then just quit answering.
other. Did he say he had Evelyn then?
Yes. And I left him tons of voicemails, and I was like, look, like, if you want me to leave where I'm at, like, I'll come spend New Year's with you and Evelyn, like, I just want us to be there as a family, you know what I mean? I was like, I'll come to where you are.
Where was he at then?
I think he was at his friend's house.
Who's his friend?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Friend around here or friend?
Friend around here.
Okay. And you don't know who his friend is?
He doesn't tell me anything.
Okay. How long had y'all dated before?
Like 3 years, maybe 4.
Okay. But you didn't
3
know
years,
his-
yeah.
And you didn't know his friends?
No, I was never allowed to be around any of his friends.
Okay. And then, did you ever call him and say, hey, where's Evelyn? It's been,
I've tried to
2
call,
weeks.
and he won't answer. I would leave voice messages, he wouldn't call back. And honestly, like I was telling them, like I had Evelyn for like over a year, and he never checked on her, and I had to support her by myself. So when I got up here, I was like, you can take care of your daughter for a little bit. Not that I don't love my daughter, want to be with her, you know what I'm saying, but I was like, you don't help me at all. Like, I want you to see how it feels, so no help.
so he didn't help you financially or
No.
taking care of her? Because
No.
he was in the military.
Yeah, like he would never even be like, hey, like, is she okay? Or like, try to check on her and help me at all.
Does
You
he
know?
live in a house down there?
I don't know.
And you don't know where she's at? And the last time you saw her was Christmas? Right.
Right.
Have you went to his grandparents' house? And asked
Yeah,
them
but
where
nobody was there when I went.
she- Okay. Have you called them and asked them where she's at? Okay. And what brought you here today?
I guess my dad called.
So you still haven't heard from her, but somebody's called about her,
Yeah.
right? And you have no idea where she's at? Okay. Have you tried to find her?
I mean, yeah, like I called, you won't answer me. I didn't know he went back to the Army until today. Like, that was news to me when they came in here, like, oh, he's from Louisiana.
Have you went to court
No.
to try?
To be honest with you, I was really trying to be civil over it, and like I said, I supported her for like over a year, and I was like, if he wants to keep her for a little bit, like, that's fine by me, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, in the very strictest terms, she supported her for over a year. Megan was 13 months old, so okay. I mean, Evelyn was. I'm not talking anymore.
My mom had a baby when I was like 12, 13, and I don't remember, it's 2013, so I guess I was 12. And like, I had to basically raise him. She know in 2015, like, I had to basically raise her, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like I had 3 kids all the time.
Okay.
And I was like, it's his kid, if he wants to keep her for a little bit, like, by all means, you know what I mean, I'm all for it. And like I said, it's something I don't love Evelyn or want to be with her, but it's just, you know what I mean, it is what it is.
Is he my girlfriend?
Ethan? He might, I don't know, he used to. She lived in like, I don't know if they were dating, let me take that back. I know he was talking to her, but she lived in like really sketchy apartments in Kingsport, like the government housing one. I don't think they were cloud, but I guess that's torn down, so I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So if you was guessing where she was at, where would you say she was at?
I don't know if he dropped her off somewhere with somebody or what he did, so I don't know.
Well, but they have to be somebody he trusted to
Right.
drop her off, right? So who would you think that he would trust much besides his grandparents?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I didn't know he really talked to his grandparents that much. Even never told me anything about his personal life. Like, especially after got in the Army, like, he's just not talking about it. I don't care how much I tried, he just was not talking about it, to be honest with you. And also when he was in the Army, he'd go like months without talking to me.
Well,
Before and after I had Evelyn.
well, if you're in the military, sometimes you're out in the field and stuff like that. You can't just.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but sometimes he would just get mad and just not talk to me. You know what I'm saying? For like long periods of time. And I know that wouldn't be.
Right. Okay. So if you could help us right now find her, where would you tell us to look?
I don't know who Ethan hangs out with.
Does he have Facebook?
Yeah.
Just because lost on Facebook.
Not really.
Okay, something just struck me and I need to say something because otherwise it's going to bother me. But okay, when Mr. Scott was talking earlier on the news, and he said that he would use that make the descriptive words that Erica Stacy used to describe her, which was her emotional state, which was numb. Okay, numb usually means like no feeling, like a flat affect. She doesn't have a flat affect because when she started out asking if he was going to question her all night, and she had a tone, an angry, irritated, I want to get the F out of this room tone. I don't like the way y'all are talking to me and calling me on my BS tone. That's not a flat affect. That's not numb. Okay. What she is displaying, in my estimation, in my opinion, is not numb, but nonchalant. She doesn't care. That's how I feel.
Do you have Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have communicate on Facebook?
He does not respond. I think he blocked me on Facebook. I only blocked me on Instagram. Because he didn't want to talk to me.
Did you participate in any other interviews with the defendant?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you do anything else as far as the investigation was concerned?
I assisted other officers in the investigation.
Okay. You continue to do other things?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you. If you would answer any questions Mr. Scott has for you.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Thank you for asking. What time?
Something just occurred to me. I'm so sorry, you guys. What if, okay, you remember how Ethan testified yesterday that Megan just showed up where he was working for the Army in Texas. She just showed up. Like, what if during that visit, there was a conversation. He already had said that he was skeptical that Evelyn was his. What if there was a conversation regarding that he was skeptical? What if the catalyst for all of this isn't actually Hunter, but maybe whoever the father is, maybe Megan didn't want that known, and maybe that is the catalyst for this. Also, I cannot help but notice how she spoke about her mom having other children when she was older, and that Megan was responsible for taking care of those her half siblings, and that she was responsible for taking care of them all the time, and equated that to, if her dad wants to take her for a little while, why not let him? Like she needed a break, like she was tired of being a mom. I noticed that as well. Just some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Like when she said she had the, like, what did she say? She was 12 or something?
Yes.
No. Okay.
12. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
12.
accidentally muted myself, but that's really interesting.
She said
Mid-sentence.
she said she was 12 when her mother had the first one, and she said that she was 15 when her mother had the second one, and by 17 she was pregnant.
My God. Mm. Okay. Very
Yeah,
interesting, though.
interesting.
What time did you take this interview?
I don't recall what time of day it was. I think it was in the evening.
Okay. It's my understanding at this point that Megan had been interviewed by Tracy Haraz and a DCS worker, and then later by Michelle Gillen, and then you. Is that correct?
I couldn't tell you the exact order of the people who went in and interviewed her before me or after me. I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Okay. Your interview and those other interviews that day, they were basically a continuation of the same interview with different people. Was that?
There were several officers and agents that or several officers that interviewed her that day.
Okay, but was it basically a continuation? I've talked to her, and then you go talk to her and see if you get more?
Yes.
Okay. At one point, she asked you for an attorney.
No, sir.
But you didn't feel like she did?
No, sir. She said, if this happens, I want an attorney.
Okay.
She didn't say, I want an attorney. She said, if this happens, I want an attorney.
You had instructed her not to go anywhere?
The sheriff's office is a secure facility, and we can't have people walking up and down the halls of the sheriff's office.
Okay, so she wasn't free to leave the room she was in.
If she wanted,
Well,
Here we go. Sidebar number 1. We're going to skip right on through this. Bye-bye.
how do you know?
He doesn't look very pleased to be, although his tone is nice, he doesn't look like he really wants to be there on a Saturday, like at all.
After she asked
Look
for
at
an
his
attorney,
face.
I know, he looks
let me
like,
ask you this. Has she been around?
he looks like, man, y'all got me here on a Saturday. Okay?
It's the eyebrows, and the frown.
He's done. Done.
Mhm.
It's interesting to me because his face is so like, but his tone is like everybody's favorite peepaw. You know?
Yeah.
Like a nice, like what you think of when you know how a grandfather would talk, but his face is, man, he's making a stank face. He ain't playing with this attorney.
Yeah.
Does.
yes, she had.
Did you do that?
No.
Do you know who did?
No, sir.
How do you know she had?
Because we'd seen the interview. And we wouldn't be in there talking to her if she hadn't been Mirandized.
But you don't know who did it, and you can't say that you did it.
I can say that I didn't do it.
You can say that you didn't do it, right?
That's correct.
But you can't say who did.
No, sir.
And as it relates to her question for an attorney, and this will be kind of my last question on that, you didn't stop questioning her. You said, do you want to talk to me? You continued asking her questions, correct?
That's correct, because she never asked for an attorney.
Are
Was
you
that the entirety of
stumped?
the interview we saw?
Yes, I was walking out the door, and she asked me if she needed an attorney, and I can't answer that for her.
So she asked you about that again?
She asked me if she needed one, and I can't answer that for her. She's 18, old enough to go in the military, old enough to fight in war, so I can't answer that for her. She's an adult.
What time did you come on shift that day? Do you know?
I usually come to work at 8 o'clock, but I can't tell you that day. It was probably 8 a.m.
I'm just trying to nail down the time period.
It would have probably been in the evening if I was guessing, late afternoon.
The late afternoon, you mean before 6 o'clock?
It would have been right around 6 o'clock if I was guessing that day.
Okay. Mr. Williams, thank you for being here. It's good to see you.
Yes, sir. You too.
Okay, so Horror Host says he was military, though. If she was going to file child support, there would have been a test required, wouldn't there? Okay, well, that depends. All right. If Ethan, at the time that Megan had the baby, Ethan signed the birth certificate. Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes they also, in addition to that, even if the father has taken responsibility, or the alleged father, and says, no, this is my child and I want to take responsibility. And I'm on the birth certificate. I'm listed as the father's child, yada, yada, yada. Sometimes they'll still make them take a paternity test. It depends on the situation, and it depends on the state. And I don't know those details. So the best thing I could say is I don't know. And Tasha says he didn't sign. So more than likely, if she was to file for child support, the first thing that she would have to do would be, and it wouldn't even matter whether he was military or not. The first thing that she would have to do is establish paternity. Well,
Yep.
Tasha, the truth of that is, I can only speak to Texas. All right. When I had my children, my husband and I at the time were not legally married. And by that, what I'm saying is we were not legally married at that time. Not that I had a different husband than the husband I have now. At the time, we were not legally married. I could have given my kids any name that I wanted to. I could have given them my last name. I could give them his last name. I could I could name my children after, I could give them Gates as a last name. That's the only time that you don't really have a choice is actually when you are married. Okay. Even then, you can name your children whatever you want. It's not about the name. It's about who's on that birth certificate, who is recognized as the father of that child. So if Evelyn was born and Ethan was at the hospital and signed the birth certificate, the signing of the birth certificate is him acknowledging paternity. But then even if he did that and she filed and wanted to get child support from him, more than likely the state would require, and he could always say, I question the paternity. And they would probably give her, they would ask Megan to provide a DNA sample and for her to go down to one of those centers and provide a DNA sample of her and of Evelyn, and to establish paternity. So it's,
Yeah. And it's different in every state, because
it
I
is.
talked about this not long ago with Melissa, like comparing West Virginia and New York. And so, but
It's very different. And okay, so this is interesting too. In Louisiana, even if you're married, they still have to sign. Okay. That's not what I meant. Maybe I misspoke. But like with Gypsy, Rose Blanchard, okay? She filed for divorce from Ryan in Louisiana. She got pregnant during the time in which they were actually still legally married. And in order for her to be granted a divorce from Ryan, the first thing that had to be done was a paternity test. Now, Gypsy chose to have that paternity test done while the baby was still in utero, okay? But had she not done that, what would have happened is when the baby was born, there would have been a paternity test then. So,
yeah, I was still married when I had Bentley. And my ex-husband would not show up to court. Like I had to put it in the paper and all kinds of stuff. It was a very long process.
mhm.
And we had to do paternity through the divorce process.
Yep.
So
There's a lot of different,
yeah.
there's a lot of different avenues. Okay. And I can't, and I'll say this, that I want to, answer this question really quick. Hey, Tinkerbell wannabe, good to see you. Harley, yes, they do know who Evelyn's father is. We just watched an interview with Gene Scott, the defense attorney, who spoke with one of the local reporters, Ainsley, and he said they do know who the father of Evelyn is. He didn't want to say. They're waiting for it to. He's waiting for it to come out in open court, so they know.
Yep. Yes, they do, which is really interesting. And we were kind of tossing around ideas of how it could come out, why it hasn't came out, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, look, okay, at the time when this is Texas too. So Horror Host says, my mother gave my brother my father's last name, even though they were separated in Texas, but he didn't sign the birth certificate. So child support would have required the DNA test. Exactly. So if I had split up with my husband when we were not married, right? And I would have, even though he signed the birth certificate, Texas would have required me to establish paternity. They would have
Oh,
required a
wow.
DNA test. That is how, I mean,
Even for okay, so let me ask you, if you get a divorce, you have a child that happened within the marriage, and then you have another child that happened after separation. The first child that happened within the marriage, that they signed the birth certificate and all that, you would have to get a DNA test for them too, or no?
no, not there's a lot of variables. A man can, in Texas, I can't speak to everywhere else. A man can question the paternity. He can say, although Texas is a no fault state, he can go in there at the time, like while you're going through the divorce, and say, look, Your Honor, we were married at the time. I found out years later, after my child was born, that my wife had been unfaithful. I question the paternity of this child. I'd like a DNA test. Likewise, the woman can go in there and say, look, Your Honor, here's the deal. I strayed during the time that I was married to my husband, and I honestly don't know if he is the actual father of this child. And I would like to establish paternity. You can do that too.
Very interesting. They're given the name of who they've seen earlier in text and stuff. And everybody's kind of given the same name. That's interesting. I guess we'll see.
I noticed that too. Well, Ethan, at the time that Megan gave birth to Evelyn, I believe Ethan was stationed or going through boot camp. I believe he was in Georgia. It was after boot camp that he went on an assignment in El Paso. So
in El Paso,
yeah. But Ethan's state of residence is Tennessee.
Yep. He lives in Kingsport now.
Yeah. He just doesn't strike me as military at all.
I think it's the long hair and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he had his hair in a military cut, I think he would more.
I think it's
In a
more.
hand type.
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's just the long hair. I think it's his appearance overall. He doesn't.
Ooh, see, for me, I think because he kind of looked a little stocky, but
he doesn't look. I don't know another way to say this, and I already got some comments about something that I said 2 years ago about Jason Mengel or whatever his last name is from the Ezra McCandless trial. Do you know that they thought that I said what I said about Jason because I have a gender bias? I had to correct them. I apologize for offending them, but I did point out that I'm an equal opportunity snark talker. If somebody says something ridiculous during a trial or during an interrogation, I don't give a rat's fat kneecap what their gender is. If you say something ridiculous and you're a criminal, I'm gonna say something about it. The end. He looked frumpy. He doesn't look clean. Not clean. He doesn't look dirty. He just looks a
Oh,
little
I didn't take.
sloppy
Interesting.
to
Okay.
me. Like,
Yeah, I didn't see that. I seen it, like, to me, he just looked like a country boy with long hair that looked kind of stout, like he maybe used to work out. I don't know. I didn't. I'll
it's
have
the
to look again though.
yeah,
But
it wasn't for me, like, it wasn't the length of his hair, anything like that. It wasn't I just noticed that, like, his shirt wasn't ironed. He just looked like just a regular, it didn't remind me of military like that in that way.
yeah, some people get out of the military and they still make their beds like they did, and everything, like tuck
It's
in every
true.
corner and all the.
Yes. I will tell you that nobody can, I mean, I can make a bed, but my husband can do those hospital corners like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let's get back to it, or we're going to be here all damn night. We're 32 minutes into it.
I know. I know.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Thank you for your testimony. Your release from entertaining is ready to go.
Thank you, sir.
State will call Joey Strickler.
Ugh. I got to say, I'm not really a fan of Miss Massengill's style of questioning.
Oh, me neither at all. At all.
No, me either. I know ATS News. I know. I feel I'm out of control with the commentary.
Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
It's out of
No,
control.
it's okay. You can finish what you don't tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I probably won't last too. I'm going to try to hang in for a while longer, but I already was starting to fall asleep during the last
Please
testimony.
tell us
You do
your-
what you
Let
gotta
me
do,
spell your
babe.
last
I
name
love
for
you.
us,
You
for the
know.
record.
Hold on.
Strickler,
I love you
ST.
too.
If you got to get down, you got to get down. I ain't finna judge. I'm tired myself.
No, I'm going to stay for a little bit longer. I'm going to try to kick it in. Like, it's 11:11, by the way, where I'm at.
Yeah,
But,
10-11, but still 11-11.
yeah,
Gannon.
I know.
I see
Yeah,
that.
I want
I
to see
see
some
that
more
a
of
lot.
this with you.
Did you know that? Ever
I do
since,
too. It probably
ever
every
since
time.
then, yeah. Ever since Gannon, I see 11-11. I mean, I used to see it when I was younger, but less frequently now. I see it almost every single time I look at the clock. It's weird.
Rickler.
Okay. And where are you currently employed?
The Second Judicial District Attorney General's office
Okay. How long have you been employed there?
since September of 2021.
Okay. And what is your title there?
Victim Witness Coordinator.
Okay. And prior to that, were you employed in law enforcement?
Yes, Sullivan. Excuse
Okay,
me.
go ahead. Tell me where. Yeah.
Sullivan County Sheriff's Office.
I got to say, the court clerk has got that curling wand working overtime on this Saturday, but her hair looks good.
Okay. What was your title at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office?
Captain over Criminal Investigations.
Okay. And how long had you been captain of criminal investigations?
I was with the department for 30 years before I retired, and on two different occasions, it was several years.
Okay. So could you give the jury just a brief rundown of your experience with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office?
I started out when I graduated from college, I started out as a corrections officer and worked my way up to a patrolman, and from patrolman went into detective division, and then worked my way up through the ranks there to being a captain over the criminal investigation division.
Okay. And were you employed in that capacity in late 2019 and early 2020?
Yes, I was.
Did you assist in working the case of missing child Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
Do you recall what your role was in this investigation?
was the captain over criminal investigations. My main duty was administrative, and basically what I was doing was being a conduit between our agency and the FBI, the TBI, the district attorney's office, the staff and command of the sheriff's office, and also helping out any way that I can with making sure they had the resources they needed and the manpower.
Okay. So you're essentially a liaison between the different agencies that were working this investigation?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you personally interview Megan Boswell at some point?
Yes, I did.
And was that on February 20th of 2020?
Yes, it was.
Okay. That day, did you conduct more than one interview of the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. How many?
2.
Okay. To your knowledge, and you may not know this, had the defendant been interviewed by anyone else that day prior to you speaking with her?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Where did these interviews take place?
The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office Detective Division's interview room.
Okay. And is that located in Sullivan County, Tennessee?
Yes, it is.
Was the interview video and audio recorded? And who was present during the interview?
Myself and Miss Boswell.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity prior to court to fully watch both interviews in their entirety?
Yes.
Okay. So first we'll go to the first video. Is that a fair, since you've watched it, is it a fair and accurate representation of the first interview you conducted with Megan Boswell on February 20th, 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number
183.
183.
Any objection? No, sir.
And then permission to play it at this time for the jury.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Joey Stricker. I'm the captain of criminal investigations. They called your boyfriend Hunter,
Yeah.
and he's supposed to be, I reckon he's supposed to be coming to pick you up. So,
I was wondering if my mom can get me.
oh, you want your mom, not him?
Yes.
Okay, I can do that. Take care of
Okay,
that.
well, can I ask you something you answer me honestly? Okay, so like when I got on the other cop's car, he was telling me like Hunter had like orders of protection against him or like domestic assault or something.
I can find out. I don't know.
Can you tell me that?
Oh, I could tell you that if I knew it, but I can find out for you.
Can you?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean like he does, like I just really like don't want to be around that kind of person, you know what I mean?
I don't blame you.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find out for you. Be right back. Hey, Brian. They're calling right now.
But tell him that mom can get me.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. You know, I've been watching, you know, those videotapes. I've been watching it. I've been doing this a long time. I've been a cop for 30 years, and it breaks my heart to see a young lady like you, and you have a child. We don't know where it's at.
Did you watch me cry? I was trying not to cry.
That's okay, though. That's okay. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is, you go to Maggie, is that right? You know, that precious little baby's somewhere. I don't know. And I honestly believe, I want to believe that you would tell us in a heartbeat if you knew where that child was at. And is there any way that you can think, maybe help me to find that little baby?
I really don't know. I'm sorry to tell you that I'm gonna cry.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay? It's okay. I know you've not seen her in a while, and I know we've been talking to Ethan. We've had him on the phone. We've had his captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're witnessing right now is what we in the business like to call the peepaw approach. He's talking to her like she's his, his granddaughter. Uh, that is why I personally think that this approach is probably better. The other ones that started with her started, directly calling her right out on her BS, and she was not receptive.
On the phone. We've been talking and trying to find this baby. Is there any way that somebody has that baby that's a friend of yours or a family member that's afraid that if they're afraid to tell us or they're afraid that you'll tell us, so they keep.
I don't know if you know that I dropped her off somewhere. What happened? I was trying really hard to cry, but I was like thinking about her. I dropped her off, and she's asked what she's wearing and stuff like that, and I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. I understand. Please, we're just trying to find out what happened to that whole thing, and I'm a daddy, and it breaks my heart to know that this child could be with someone that don't love it, that don't take care of it, or, God forbid, something bad's happened to that baby. And, the thing about it is, everybody's going to point back to you because you're the mama, and you're the mama that let the baby go. When I say let the baby go, I mean, you're the one that took the baby and set here.
I know, but I was scared to her dad, and I thought it'd be okay.
You say you thought it'd be okay. Do you think something's happened to it?
I mean, no, but I didn't think that, I wasn't going to see her for months at a time or something like that. When I did, when all this started happening, I was like, oh, well, I don't want to get involved just to try to, solve myself. I don't want to do that, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that person who does all that, you know what I mean? And, I just worried her for over a year about myself. And I was like, if he wants to keep her for a little bit, it's fine.
How old are you, may I ask?
18.
You're just a young lady yourself. You're a brand new mama, and you're thrown into a different world, wasn't you? And I can understand you feeling that way and saying, hey, I just want a little bit of time to myself, a little bit of time to be me before I have to be a mama. And you had all these things that happened so quick to you. It's bless your heart. My heart goes out to you, but I'm telling you, we gotta find that little thing. We gotta find her. And do you remember when she broke her arm? Somebody said she broke her arm.
I don't know if she actually broke her arm or not. I just know it was bruised. I never saw it, so I don't know.
You never saw the bruise?
No.
And did this happen after you had gave her to me? Okay. Okay. Well, now, when they say that you dropped the baby off at his parents?
His grandparents.
His grandparents?
Me and him stood outside. We didn't go in.
And where was the baby at?
On my hip. And then I let her kind of go to him and get used to him. And I stayed about 30 minutes and she was fine. So I left.
Okay, I just want to say really quickly, and then whatever, if Allie wants to speak, she knows she's free to. That came out really weird, but you guys know what I mean. Anyway, what I wanted to say is when I first, because I was listening to this while I was cleaning, and when I first heard the way that he referred to Evelyn as that little thing, the baby, it hit my ears wrong initially, but then I thought about it. And I actually think the reason that he's doing this is because he's mirroring Megan. You notice I haven't heard Megan refer to Evelyn by her name in any of the interviews. If she has, it's been maybe once. And I think that that's what he's doing. I think the reason he's not using using Evelyn's name is because she's not using Evelyn's name. I think he is trying to come at her as the caring peepaw. That's the only way I know how to say it. Like, I understand. It's okay. We just want to find this baby. I believe you. I know this is hard for you. You're a new mom. You're very young yourself. All of these things. I am interested to know. This is on the 20th. I would be very interested to know, because I can't remember off the top of my head, when it is that she then accused her mother. I know it was after this. I'm kind of curious if this gentleman saying, is there a relative that has her that, you're scared to tell us because you think they'll do something to the baby, because that's just about exactly what she said with respect to her mother. Allie, did you want to say something, babe? You did, because you unmuted.
Yeah, only that, so I listened some earlier too to this part, not the second half of the day. I love this cop. I can't help it. He's just so sweet, and he's doing a good job. I think like you said, I would agree with you that this technique probably works better on her, Megan in particular. And yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I have enjoyed listening to him talk to her, because it gives her this false sense of support. I don't know how to say it.
Like security.
Yeah. Makes her feel secure. Yeah, dude, my earbud's dead, so my sound is probably all jacked up now.
It's fine. It's just a little tiny echo. I don't know if they can hear it. I can hear it, but it's, I know what the heck I sound like. I've been editing a video that took me for 7 years to do, which is my own reading of stuff. So there you go. I know.
Well, Neat says that they can't hear me. Let's see. Auto adjust mic. No, I'm going to turn off the auto adjust. Okay, what about now? Is that better?
I turned you up.
Okay, I just turned me up too. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, did the grandparents ever come out?
No.
They never come out?
No.
Okay. And then that was the last time you seen her?
No, I saw her the next day.
You went back and seen her?
Just for a second. Beacon brought it to her and he told me to leave.
Okay, who was with you when you went back?
It was just me.
Just you. Now, was you dating anybody during that time after you left?
Hunter. But I didn't really tell me, and Ethan were into it.
Okay, so you went from Ethan to Hunter. Okay. Okay, how long did you know Ethan? Can you tell me a little bit about him? I mean,
I met him my freshman year of high school.
Where'd you go to school at?
Central.
Okay. Okay, so you just graduated last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, wow. And where'd you meet Ethan at?
At school.
So he went to Central also. Okay. And then he joined the Army, is that correct? Okay. So the last time you seen your daughter was sometime around Christmas, the day after you dropped him off, you went and he didn't want to let you talk with her, be with her or anything. Was there a confrontation or anything? He just basically ran you off or say, hey, you're not talking to my baby?
I think he just basically ran me off.
Okay. When you all met down in El Paso, when you went down there, did you all just meet down there and you turn around and come back home with him?
No, I stayed for a little bit. He didn't come back home until a couple weeks after.
So did you bring the baby back with you? You had the baby with you and you brought it back, okay. And then where was you staying at that time?
My dad went to trailer park and I was staying in one of his trailers.
Okay, okay. And your dad's? Tommy. Okay. So you stayed at these trailers and in the trailer park, where's that located at?
Do you know where Sugar Hollow Road is?
I sure
It's like
do.
on the corner of Sugar Hollow and Bosell.
Oh, yeah, I know where that's at.
They're like storage units across from it.
Yeah, that's up there close to Mooney's, the restaurant, or little restaurant place.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you stayed there, and then you moved out of there and moved in with Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Hunter ever see the baby?
Yeah.
Hunter
Not much, I won't lie to you, just because I'm
Well, that's
worried
fine.
about bringing Evelyn around people, you know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
And also at the time, I'm not gonna lie, like Hunter told me he was on probation, we were talking about before, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, iffy on who I bring her around, you know what I mean?
Okay. So you was thinking that you was doing the best for your baby by
Not having her around.
him, and
And I know that sounds bad, but like now that I know him better, I don't think he's that person, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I only known him at like a couple of weeks when I moved in with him, you know, when I was kind of like kicking me out, you know.
okay.
Didn't really have any real
But that led you to, I guess what I'm trying to say though is, that was a natural route for you to go as far as if you wanted someone to watch Evelyn was take her to Ethan.
Yeah, her dad.
Her dad. Okay. Okay. Wow. We're fixing to send out what's called a nationwide alert. So we're trying to find this baby, and I don't know what's going to happen. I just pray to the good Lord above that we're going to find her, and we're going to find her alive, and find her well taken care of. Because I've been doing this a long time, and the worst thing that's ever had to deal with is the death of a child, or a baby that's been hurt, or a baby that's been abused. And I have a lot of nightmares about that, and it's been too many to count through the years. And all I want to do is stand up for that little baby that may not be able to stand right now. And I need your help. I do. I need your help. And if you can think of any way, fashion, or form, to know where that baby's at, or where, just point me in the right direction. Please help me. Please help me. I want to bring it back in. Bring her back in.
I don't know.
Is there any way that can you tell me a reason why that you didn't reach out, see it's Christmas, to the family to try to find Evelyn and talk to her, to just see that and even put her on the phone, let me speak to her?
Because I was really just trying to resolve two meetings, to be honest with you.
You was what?
Just trying to resolve it between these two.
So, tell me what you think. What do you think's happened?
I don't know if he's taking her in contract for someone else for.
Do you think you hurt her?
No.
Did you hurt her?
No.
Would Hunter hurt her?
No. He even get like mad and like threaten me all the time, but he never actually like did anything. You know what I mean?
Did he ever show any aggression or anger toward your little baby?
Well, I don't know. Also.
You never seen that?
No.
You said that she had a bruise on her arm earlier. How did she? Do you know how that bruise happened? That you think is maybe?
Fell off the bed. That's what I was told.
Where at?
At Ethan.
Did that happen? Did you ever see the bruise and stuff? You never did see the bruise or the broke arm or anything like that. So you did have some telephone conversation apparently with Ethan about her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is weird because the thing that we're being told is that by him, he's like, I've not seen her.
He has seen her. I swear to you, he has.
When the last time you seen that little thing?
On Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
He had her then, but I had her for a little bit on Christmas. So me and my family and Hunter went fishing for her every spent the night. And he that Christmas Day, and I got her stuff, and I got her. And I got Like with something my brother got and stuff, and I took it to him.
They're on, off of Hartown. Did you get to see her that day?
Yes. I
What
had
did
to
you
wait a
take,
couple hours.
what did you take to her that day?
I don't know what my brother got her, but I got her like a little horse and like baby shark stuff and clothes and stuff like that.
That's so sad. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to lead to. Like I've told you before, I've been doing it a long time. And in cases like this, the fingers point toward the mom. And it points toward you because, for one reason, is that you willingly took the baby to Ethan's. I understand why. I mean, you're telling me why you did that. But then, of course, he's not saying something didn't happen there. It was not right. That's what he said, of course. We got to find the baby. We've got to find Evelyn. Got to find her. Take care of her. And if it's a situation where, you know, that you don't feel like that you can take care of her, then I promise you, we'll find some people to take care of her, that little thing for you. And I promise you that. We'll do everything we can to get you help and get her help to take care of her. But we've got to find her.
When you all find her, does this mean I won't custody of her anymore?
No, it doesn't mean that at all. Does not mean that at all. But I can tell you this, if you think for a second, a little sliver, that you might know where she might be, or hey.
Don't discuss your testimony.
Okay, so now moving to, well, prior to the second interview, you stepped out for a few minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Any idea of how long you were out before you came back into the room?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember?
No.
Okay, and that's fine. So the second video, you also had an opportunity to watch it in its entirety?
Yes.
And it is also a fair and accurate representation of the second interview you conducted with Megan Boswell on February 20th, 2020.
Yes.
We'd ask that that may be made exhibit number 184, please.
Objection. All right, before exhibit 184.
And permission to play it for the jury.
I have, you know, I got some, been caught a long time, and I've got some my own opinions about this stuff. But just something just not adding up. It's just not adding up. And, you know, if there's something that you think in your mind, anyway, that's been formed that you could think.
Well, I was talking to Dad today, and he told me to talk to Mom, and that she said when all this started going down, she was going to have to disappear, and that she was going to go to jail. I don't know what's going on.
Is your mom right about something?
I don't know. That's all he told me today. I don't know what's going on.
So Tommy told you that
When all this started going on, because he called her the night before, he told you all, and he told her what he was going to do, and then she said, well, you can't do that. This is what he told me, like, I'll have to disappear. I can't come back to that. I don't know what. I hope she didn't do anything too.
so you,
Well, look at that. You ask a question and you get the answer. The 20th. Yeah. The 20th of February, she's blaming her mom. All right.
but I thought Ethan had the baby.
I thought he did too, but this is just what my dad told me this morning. I promise you, I talked to him on the phone on my way down here, because I called my grandma first. I wanted to stop down there for a few up here. I've nobody to talk to, you know. I just wanted to, when he called me, he started telling me.
So Tommy told you that he has talked to,
No, this was before he called up here,
okay, but he has talked to your mom.
a couple days ago. And that, he told me that he lied to her, well, and me, and said that DCS was going to do a whole visit on Elijah because he thought that she was going to run off.
And so he basically, but what he said to Angel, help me with this, but he told Angel that he was going to send DCS to
Check out the Evelyn and stuff. And he told me that she said, oh, like, I'll have to leave, and like, nobody can ever find me again, like, I'm here to chill, and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry, that's just so much for to say.
okay, and then Angel said that she was going to run, but she was going to leave and stuff.
Well, that's what she told Dad, apparently. And Dad told me that, he lied to her and said that DCS was going to do a checkup on Elijah so he could get him from her, my little brother. And then when they met at Eagles, that, like, she was crying and, like, wouldn't say anything to Dad or anything like that.
Okay.
And she was not freaking out. I'm sorry, I just always had, like, so much faith in my mom and the fact that even the thought that she would do anything just really, like, I'm sorry, that's why my first question was, hey, have you all talked to her? Then yesterday, the whole way up here, she was, like, bitching at me, saying that, like, I won't lie, I lied, she didn't run out of gas, she just wouldn't tell me.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't tell them, that's hard work, so you wouldn't tell them the truth.
I'm sorry. But she was like bitching at me and saying that she was coming up here, she didn't want you to be like seen, blah, 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 stuff like that.
You didn't what?
Want to be seen,
She wanted to be okay.
stuff like that.
Do you think she's in that car, that BMW?
Yeah,
Was the last time you seen her, she was in the BMW?
yeah, it's when she got me out the Evelyn shelter.
Oh, okay. That was the day that she walked up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Was McLeod with her?
Yeah,
Did he drive or did she drive?
he usually drives.
Did he drive it?
He was driving that day.
Okay, and whose car is that? Whose Beamer is that?
Well, Hunter gave it to her, but he didn't get the title on it over there.
Okay, so that car should be in Hunter's name?
I think it's his brother's name, that's why he didn't get the title on it over there. It was Hunter's car, but Tanner was gonna buy it, and then Tanner backed out on it.
And is he not bad? Did you be wrecked or something in the front end?
Yeah, on like the passenger side fender wheel, I guess. Like it's kind of like popped out and it's kind of bit into the headlights. You know. A lot dimmer on that side.
Okay. But that's who it should be in, okay? And,
Well, Tanner's first name is Austin. I mean, I don't know if you all know that, but it's Austin.
I'm sure we got that. And McLeod usually driving?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about that, because I'm just trying to clarify things. Are they just ate up the dope?
I mean, he is, I don't,
Listen, if I'm gonna tell you something, Maggie, I've got a girl, I've got a daughter, and my daughter she's older now, she's 25 years old, but I love my daughter dearly. I wanna ask you something, do you love your little girl?
yeah.
Off all your heart. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Now, that's what I'm getting to. Then we need you to help us. Because everybody, we are trying our best to find her. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I don't care one bit about putting anybody in jail or anything. I want her back. If I can get her back, and we can get you straightened out in your life and everything good together, y'all can come back together again. There's no doubt in my mind that we can work those things out. No doubt in my mind we can work those things out. But we gotta get her back.
I know.
And so, with that being said, I just want you to be completely honest with me. No more feeling or anything like that. Completely honest. Are they running dope? Are they just using heavy? What's their drug?
They're just using, she doesn't, I don't know what she does. The only thing that she'll admit to me is that she's very fond.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know, to be honest with you. There were a few times that like Dad and I would went to get like Elijah when she'd be with Bill and like that, and she had birds on her and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know like if that helps at all or anything, but I mean, she normally like on her arms and stuff like that. Yeah.
This is interesting to me because this is such an odd dichotomy here. She essentially is blaming her mom, right? But then when it comes to asking what what is her drug of choice, Megan wants to. It almost comes across like Megan wants to protect her mom by not saying what she knows. Because let's be honest, okay? She knows. She knows exactly what her mom's drug of choice is. So I just, it's such a weird dichotomy. You're willing to blame the disappearance of your child on your mother, but you don't want to talk about her drug use. Okay, Megan.
Now, does she go by Angela or Angel?
Angel.
So, if you had to, if you had to lay it all on the table, okay, I've got one shot to find my baby and to get my baby back, where would you go?
They were trying to take me up in Mendoza yesterday before I came in here, and I kept telling her, like, turn over, you're on the side of the road. If you won't take me up there, I'll call them, they'll come get me.
They won't take you to Mendoza?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Shut up, Meg.
Do you have any friends in Mendoza?
No.
You ever been to Mendoza?
No.
But they want to take you there. They won't take you there yesterday. It was a different.
Well, they wouldn't tell me where we were going. I just saw the road signs. Let me take that back.
I understand. So what road stop did you see?
Like, State City Highway, one that had like, you know, the airport, like Mendoza, and it's like 5 miles away or something like that.
Okay.
We were headed in the direction of Mendoza. I mean, maybe they weren't like, would take me there, but that's just what I thought. Like, they would not tell me anything.
Okay. Does he have any ties to people over there in Virginia?
As far as I know, all his family's from North Carolina.
Okay. Have you ever gone to see his family in North Carolina or anything like that? Okay. So, when I asked you that question about laying it out there where you might be going, I mean, you got a chance to get your daughter, to find your daughter.
Well, Dad keeps saying that Mom knows something. That's why she's like, you know, not answering anybody, kind of just disappearing.
Now, you know, I know that you said that you gave Evelyn over to Ethan.
Okay. So Mom also told me that she talked to Ethan since then.
Your mom has talked to Ethan since.
That's what I don't know, like 100.
Grain says, was she ever close to her mother? Grain, the answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know if I would say close, but that's me as an outsider looking in. What I'll say is what I know thus far, I should say, is that when her father testified, Tommy Boswell testified on day 2, he was the second witness. What he testified to was that Megan had been getting in trouble. She was living with her mother, and she had been getting in trouble for not going to school. So Tommy said, no, you're going to come and live with me. So Megan goes to live with Tommy. And at some point, Megan said, I want to go and stay with my mom. And Tommy told her, no, listen, you know, now you've got court tomorrow. You've got to go to school. You know, you're going to get in trouble, Megan. If you don't go to school, they're going to take, the state's going to come and take you. Well, he let her go stay with her mother. She didn't go to school. Bing, bang, boom, the state came and took her. And that's how, according to Tommy, she ended up in foster care. And earlier, when we were listening to to a different interrogation on a different day, she sounded resentful of her mom. She said that her mom had 2 children, one when she was 12 and one when she was 15, and that she had to take care of them. She was basically raising them. And it came off, which I'm not judging her. If I were 12 and 15 years old and my mom had 2 children, 2 other children, I would probably feel some type of way if I was the one raising them as well, especially at 12 and 15. You're supposed to be a kid. So I don't know if close is the right word. I would say that she might have been at one time, yes, close to her mom.
100%, that's just what I've been told.
He told you that? Angel told you that?
Yeah. If you want questions for her father, he might not tell her that I like.
Oh, absolutely. Don't
Okay.
you worry about that.
Okay.
Let me tell you, don't worry about it. I want
Megan was that old. Megan was 12 when her mom had I believe her brother, and then 15 when she had. I don't actually know what the gender. I know that she obviously has a brother because I heard her refer to him as Elijah. But when Megan was 12, and then when Megan was 15, her mother had 2 children, 2 other children after she was older, is what I'm trying to say. Does that even make sense? Did that come out right?
her. I want your baby back. Okay? I want Evelyn. I want her back, safe and sound. I want her. Those pictures of her. That picture of her and you. I'll be honest with you, I got that from my wall in my office of you and her. But that makes me want to go that much further and try to find her. Okay? And it breaks my heart to know that she, I don't know where she's at. You know, could she be with someone else? Could they be treating her good? I mean, is she okay? That type of thing. And then on the other side of the coin, oh dear God, could somebody have killed her?
And I'll also say that it's interesting to me that back on the 18th of February, the interview we watched right before this one, they offered to call Hunter, but she didn't want Hunter in there. In fact, she said, can y'all check Hunter's background? I think somebody told me he's got an order of protection. Now, to me, it seems like that might be something you'd want to know, I don't know, before moving in with them, but hey, what do I know? And she asks for her mother. And there's going to be another time after this, okay, after they go and locate her mother and her mother's boyfriend in Hunter's BMW, which is actually Tanner's BMW, except for Tanner goes by Austin, and that would be Hunter's brother. But Hunter's actual real government name is Preston. Hunter is his middle name. So apparently the men folk in Hunter's family all go by their middle name. I don't know about his dad, though. Anywho, I digress. But yeah, after they go after they go get Angela, or Angel's what she goes by, and her boyfriend, they're both arrested. And there's the interview that we saw on day 2 at the beginning of the day. That interrogation, the one where she talks about Hunter rolling over on Evelyn, her mother is the person in the jail ensemble. That's her mom in there. After Megan has blamed her for taking her kid. It's all very messed up.
Could that little baby be in a ditch line somewhere, or maybe in a trash or something like that? And that's what's got me. And but you said Angel has talked. She says that she's talked to. She's talked to Evelyn. And you're pretty firm that you gave let Ethan take care of her right at Christmas. Was it Christmas Day or?
No, it was Christmas
Christmas Eve.
Me and my family went to Pigeon Forge, and I dropped her off before we left.
So your little girl did not go with you to Pigeon Forge.
No. Me, Hunter, Dad, my brother, his wife, and like their kids with.
Where'd y'all go to when y'all went to Pigeon Forge? Just asking.
We went out to eat at Olive Garden, and then we went around Grove Park, and then we all stayed at Margaritaville Island.
I stayed there before. It's a pretty nice place. So you come back on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And then you went back over. Did you go see? Did you see her on Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went back on Christmas Day.
I had her Christmas Day.
Did you get to see her?
Yeah.
Did you let you hold her or anything? Okay. What time did you go over on Christmas Day?
I would just like to take this opportunity to point out among the other 50-1100 lies, this would be lie 50-1100 and who knows what. On February 18th, Megan said that she spent 2 hours on Christmas Day with Megan. Here, she says just a minute.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I went to my brother's, picked this up, I probably got like 4 or something, so I guess it was after that.
So you took presents to her?
You know.
At Eaton's. And you took it over there, and did you get to go in, or did you just?
No, he always said he said I'm fine.
And then you took the little girl Christmas presents, and then you got to hold her a minute, and then you gave her back.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you just didn't say, come on, you're going back with Mama?
She started reaching for him, but I didn't want to take her from him.
She started reaching for him?
Yeah. I just thought she wanted to be there. I didn't want to take her. And honestly, like, I just wanted to break. That's all I wanted.
Who took you over there?
Now that's the truth. I just wanted a break. A permanent break. That, I believe, is the truth. See, the thing about people like Megan and Leilani and Tisha is they leak. They are prolific lying liar faces who tell lies. But every so often, a little kernel of the truth will come out.
Hunter rode with me. Not Hunter sat in the car. Not exactly at the bottom.
But you drove and
He drove back.
but you drove over and
Yes, he drove back. This is my cruiser, I had it. I'm sorry, we're not as much as I can hold together the past 2 days. I just can't anymore.
You've been through hell and back, and you're still in it. You're still in hell. I mean, you really are. The whole fact of not knowing where your baby is at. Oh my gosh, I know it's heart wrenching. I mean, you know. When you left on Christmas Day, did Hunter and Ethan say anything to each other?
No.
Okay.
Hunter didn't get out of the car. Well, Hunter only got out of the car and walked around the front to get in the car. On the driver's side.
Okay, and you wanted to see him be pulled out a little bit. You just walked back in with,
I didn't see where he was standing at the top of the driveway.
and he was just holding her when you pulled away?
Yeah.
Did y'all have any words or anything? Any anger words?
I mean, we argued, yeah.
What did you argue about that day?
Well, I called him and I was like, I want to come see him for a little bit. And I was like, if you don't want to go with me, that's fine. We were at his mom's house at the time. I was like, just let me know. I won't bring him. That's fine. You know, I was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to see her. It's Christmas. And he got mad and I brought him with me. But I asked for I called. I didn't mean to piss him off.
Okay.
Megan, why would Ethan be upset that Hunter was with you? Y'all weren't together. Come on now. Stop it. It wasn't like y'all had this on again, off again, young makeup to breakups romance. Stop playing with these people out here.
I just had that argument again because I'm a lot of you. He asked me, like, if I had any more diapers, and I was like, yeah, but, like, I took care of myself for a year. Like, it's your daughter. You can buy her a pack of, like, freaking diapers. I'm sorry, I know that was about it. So I don't want to be about anything. It's just,
So, Christmas Day, you're saying the last time?
No, I saw him the day after that. That's what he said.
Okay. And then when did you see her over at Ethan's then?
Yeah. He was pulling out the driveway and I pulled in for him to pull out.
He had her with, he had her.
Yeah, that's cute. He got me out for a second because we're arguing because he's like, you can't just show up here and stuff like that. And I mean, we just got into it escalating from there. And then he told me that I had to leave or even call the cops, so I left.
How did Evelyn act when she saw you?
She didn't like reach for anything. I need to talk to them, okay? I'm sorry.
Was anybody with you then?
Yeah.
Have you talked to Ethan much after that?
I talked to him on New Year's, and he wouldn't let me come over. Or New Year's Eve. If I say New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Eve, like the 31st. I'm trying to talk to him, he's just not really like the answer be. But apparently my mom told me that she talked to me.
You think your mom talked to him during that time right there?
She told me she had been talking to him.
So you not talked to Ethan, you talked to Ethan on New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and Ethan said that your mom had been talking to him.
No, she said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mom had said she had been talking to Ethan.
Yeah.
And did Ethan ever tell you that she been calling?
No.
Have you been heard?
Huh?
Do you think Ethan would heard?
My mom?
No, I'm not talking about that.
No.
You don't think Ethan would heard it?
No. I feel like if you did do anything together, someone would be probably take care of me. I don't think you would.
Okay. How is Ethan and your mom, were they?
But why would Angel, be talking to Ethan in the first place? See, this doesn't make a lick of sense. None of this makes any sense. Lord.
Cordial? Would they talk? Would they get along? I think they do.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't necessarily like go out their way to talk, you know what I'm saying? There was like a few times where they like talked over text over the years, and I was with them, you know,
Okay.
3.5, 4 years.
Okay. If you've known Ethan a long time, you'll have.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is going back a little bit, but how long has your mom and Tommy been separated? The reason I'm asking that is because I'm just trying to figure out,
Well, okay, they got like a divorce, I think, in like 2014, 2015. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I think it was 2014, but Charlotte wasn't born yet, but my little sister. But they had a baby after that. I mean, they were like living together and stuff like that. But if you're talking about as far as like divorce
Legal,
or something,
yeah.
I think like 2014.
when did they finally make a split? And, you know, Tommy and your mom, and she go her way and he went his?
Whenever his Ashley's birthday, I think it was June of 2018.
Oh, so this has been relatively fairly recent then. Okay.
Yeah, it was June 2018 after Ashley's birthday at that.
June 2018?
I don't know that, I would be June 2018, I don't know the exact date. It was at the beginning of June.
Okay.
I know that I was over there on Father's Day and she was there. So she had been there for June 14th, because that's when Father's Day was, right?
It is.
Yeah, so she had been there before that.
Okay. All right. If
They weren't living together for like a long time, because they were all in apartments in like Popular Ridge. They were definitely like talking and she got they got to them and stuff like that. They just weren't like legally together.
have you, you've been living down with Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you live anywhere, I know you live in the trailer.
Yeah.
Over in, down near Booties, to the hot hanging out, you go there and eat and all, what have you. You lived there, and then after that you moved in with Hunter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stayed in hotels with you guys.
Well, I understand, yeah.
But
But that's basically, if I had to put a timeline of where you lived and stuff like that, that's what it would be.
yeah. Up until around like March 2018, from February to March I was with my dad, or until April, yeah, and then I moved in with my mommy, that's my grandma. From April, and I stayed with her all the way through October.
Okay. Okay. So basically.
There were a couple nights when my mom was at a hotel that I could stay with her, but as far as like living wise with her, it was like a mommy.
And then she's the one that lives where?
At the mom and dad's building, like
Down Bay Creek.
operating on.
So you live most of May Creek, what do you call her?
Oh, mommy. Oh, mommy. I used to call her old mommy when I was little because she practically raised me.
Oh, mommy, okay. You lived there with her from, when you say?
April to October. I stayed a couple of nights with them after I got my trailer though, because nothing else was there. There's a cop that lives right up the road from me that actually made me feel a lot better, so after I seen his car there, I was like, I won't be too bad.
Yeah,
Because I mean, there's a cop literally like my neighbor, and I was like, it's fine.
good, okay. Now, okay, so, and then after that's when you
I got my
took
trailer
your trailer.
a little bit for Halloween.
Okay,
Because I trick or treated like maybe a couple days before Halloween with my cousin Ashley, not my ex-girlfriend, this is different Ashley.
okay,
And like, I remember I took pictures of her in her little costume and she was sitting on the floor.
okay. You know, people ask questions, of course.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that you last seen her on the 26th, okay? And on the 26th, on the 26th, okay, what time you saw. So, all this has transpired. If you had to answer a question like this, someone comes to you and says, hey, why didn't you call somebody?
Mom was talking to me, she told me I should just try to resolve it for me easy. And that's what I was trying to do, and she told me she was trying to talk to him about it.
You did it again. Because that's the first time. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, your lunch is back there.
Oh, for Pete's sake, here we go with lunch.
Try to figure this out. We'll come back.
Were you the first person to interview her on the 20th?
If there was more after me, I believe so.
So you believe you might have been, would that have been the first interview we watched?
I think so.
And that would have been before Detective Gillum or Lieutenant Williams?
I'm not for sure of the time.
I'm sorry, I think those were different dates.
I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
That's okay. Do you recall anybody else interviewing Megan that day?
No, sir.
So it was just you and you alone?
I believe so.
And then you interviewed her a second time on the same day?
That's correct.
And how much space was in between those two interviews? How much time?
I'm sorry, I don't recall that.
Well, I'm not trying to trick you, but
I just have to comment really quickly that it's now 11:11 where I am. See? Always 11:11, 11:11, 11:11 ever since Gannon.
is it an hour, 2 hours, or just?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
That's okay. You interviewed her on the first one, and I imagine you stepped out of the office for some time. Would that be a fair statement?
I can't. Been 5 years. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay. You eventually come back and interview
That's
her.
correct. That's correct.
She never left.
No.
And came back for a second interview.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Be safe to assume she just sat there until the second interview occurred.
Correct.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, I sure don't.
What would have been your normal duty hours that day?
With an investigation like that, it could have been at any given time. I don't know. My normal work day would be like 0800 to 5 o'clock in the evening, but it could have been prior to that or even after.
Possibility that these interviews could have occurred after 5 p.m.
Yes.
You just don't know.
Correct.
Fair enough. Have just a second, Judge.
Yes.
They always do this. Can I have just a second, Judge? And then they're done.
Be fair to say, though, that your second interview would have essentially been a continuation of the first interview, with attenuated by a brief amount of time.
That would be fair to say.
Okay. And you said you'd been a detective, actually the captain over the detectives. You were the captain of that little division, so to speak,
Yes.
both literally and figuratively in rank.
Yes.
And I imagine you've conducted a lot of interviews over your years in law enforcement.
Yes.
At the onset of this first interview, we hear Megan ask about her boyfriend, and you indicate that he's coming down to see her.
Yes.
And she represents she doesn't want that to happen.
Correct.
Did that have any significance to you as an investigator?
No, not at that point. During the course of the investigation, I was doing my best to either get new information or to clarify other information. So when she said that, that's when I believe I stepped out to ask to have a phone call made by another detective for her.
And would that be to just prevent the boyfriend from coming down?
She was wanting to see her mother, if I remember correctly, wanting her mother to pick her up.
And not her boyfriend?
Correct.
And that never resonated with you of why would she not want that?
Objection to speculation.
Sustained.
Okay, Judge. Can I just say?
You need another second? What are you doing, bruh?
Was essentially the same subject matter. Really what you were interviewing about on this date was essentially the same subject matter, a missing child, that Detective Raz and Lieutenant Gillum interviewed her on.
Yes, sir.
So that was the focus of all of these interviews.
Yes, sir.
And so whether you interviewed first or they interviewed later, they would all be a continual interview over a matter of time.
It was a continuing effort.
I'll take that.
Yeah, you
All
should
questions
take
I
it because
have.
what you're trying to do is irritate. What you're trying to do is I find irritating. Okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this jury to believe that these people hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered, and they were just bad cop, good cop. Then they sent in, sweet people over here and, just taking turns at her and at her and at her because they were singularly focused on her as a suspect. And that's wrong. You know what happened. The reason they continued to have to talk to her is because she continued to lie and change her story. When she went in there the very first time, when DCF showed up to her house or to Hunter's house after they'd located her, okay, after her father called, and she went down to agree to be interviewed, okay, she told people for days that law enforcement, not everybody else, she'd been telling for months that Evelyn was with Ethan. And she first told that's the first story she tried to sell to law enforcement. Why she thought they wouldn't think to call Ethan and verify this, I will never know. But they did. Or maybe she was just buying time. Who knows? But they did. And then they confront her with, hey, Ethan says he doesn't have her and he hasn't seen her since y'all were in El Paso. But Megan is like, well, I don't know. She's with him. No, they're telling you that he's not. She's not with him. So then they drag the army into all of this, who search the barracks, do all the things looking for Evelyn. And then 2 days later, she comes down to the station with this cockamamie story about her mother. That her mother has been talking to Ethan, that she's trying to take Angela's trying to take her to someplace that starts with an M that I can't think of right this minute. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's why they continue to have to bring your client in for questioning, sir. It's not because they were singularly focused on her as a suspect. They were singularly focused on the lies and the ever-evolving and changing stories. So then they had to clarify. Once they would go, she'd send them off on one wild goose chase that led nowhere. They'd come back and ask her, hey, when we went off on this wild goose chase, where's your child? Stop playing with these people. It's very annoying. This jury is not going to, I don't think that the jury is going to buy this. We still don't know yet, Bushi. We still don't know. It's allegedly it's going to come out, but we just don't know yet. She did, Ro. She just now, that interrogation that we just watched is when she started blaming her mother. That's when it started. And then around, yes, neat noodle, child with the hard, child. I think the gum DNA is going to belong to Megan. And here's why. Because Hunter he never met Evelyn. And Evelyn was only with Megan. Now, when Megan initially got that job at the chicken shack, she asked her foster mother's sister to babysit Evelyn, but she didn't babysit her for very long. Maybe a day, 2-3 days at most. I think that I don't think that Hunter was ever around Evelyn ever. That part I believe. Hey, Carolina, Carolina, welcome back, babe. We did miss you. All right. We are going to finish up with this witness, and then we're going to call it a night, and I'll come back and do the rest tomorrow. Here we go.
Thank you. Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Is he free to be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, for the testimony.
Quick, I thought she had more questions. All right, so this is where we're going to end for tonight. I will come back and do the remainder of the day, day 4 trial tomorrow evening. I'm going to start a little bit earlier, obviously, because it's a school night, and I got to be off early because I got to be up early. So I might, I'll just be looking for it. I promise I will be back tomorrow. But I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it very, very much. If you wouldn't mind, before we end the stream, would you please give your girl a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Maybe I interrupted too much. Maybe there was too much commentary. Maybe there was too much stories that had absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand. And if that be the case and you feel I deserve a thumbs up, feel free to give me a thumbs down. Feel free to give me a thumbs down. I'll see you guys all. Hold on a second. Bushit, I believe the answer to your question is, Bushit said, can anyone answer this? What happened to the baby Megan was carrying? I believe that was a lie. I think she just said that. I don't think she was actually pregnant, but I don't know I don't know for sure. But they've not talked about another child. And I do believe that had Megan given birth because she's been in the jail. She's been in jail this whole time since March 6th, I think is when they arrested her, or maybe a little before that. Yeah, because March 6th was when they found Evelyn. I can't remember exactly when they ended up arresting her, but at any rate, I feel like they would have reported that she gave birth. This was a big news story. All right, you guys, I appreciate you all being here. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go to bed. Good night, you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do. Well, fuck you.
No malicious intent or effort was towards it.
No malicious. Finish her.
Minutes later.
We all do a little math sometimes.
And you know this, man.